The reason I film myself fully, besides being a narcissist, is by filming myself, I've been able to create a system that allows me to produce more content than anybody. What I find fascinating about Gary Vee, my persona, me, it's actually me, but what I find fascinating about it is I spend 18 hours a day running a company. I am not an influencer. I am not a personal brand. I am an operator, a business operator, not only running Vayner, but all the other things at Vaynerchuk, whether it's Pure Wow or 1:37 p.m. or something else we're about to announce. Not 15 minutes ago, speaking to AJ about Vayner Sports and what we're gonna do there. He runs it. I obviously do my thing. On the phone with my dad and Brandon last night about a thing. I'm in it. I'm fucking working every fucking minute, every second, all the time, always, and I'm putting out more content than people that are a personal brand for a living. Why? Not because I'm out hustling them, because I outsmarted them. It's based on understanding what I'm actually doing and what I hope a lot more of you do. The reason I film myself is the following. By filming myself, it gives me unlimited opportunity to not only create video, but to create audio and written word. And one of the biggest things I believe in the world is you do not create friction for the end customer. If you want to consume me on Instagram, I'm gonna give it to you. If you want to listen to me on podcast form while you're running, I'm gonna give it to you. If you want to consume a 1-hour keynote and watch it on Roku, I'm gonna fucking give it to you. I create no friction for any of you to consume me. So many of you are producing content and you create friction because you only fuck with Instagram or YouTube, but you leave everything else out. So you narrow your upside because you're doing what you want to do, not what they want. Literally every single maneuver I make in business is 100% predicated on the audience. 100%. So people always love to razz me, like, Gary Vee, you're such a fucking digital guy. Why do you write books? Because people read them, asshole. I don't read them, but people read them. And so I am unbelievably imploring you to understand a couple things. I have a top 100 global podcast, yet I never sit down and do a podcast. Why? Because I'm able to extract the audio. This talk right now is an episode of one of my podcasts in 7 weeks. You know it. This is how it is. It's also going to be an article in LinkedIn called Last Stance for Instagram Ads, you dick faces, It's also gonna be 3 little clips on Instagram of especially Q&A where I'm able to talk about new things instead of the pillars that I believe in, and on and on and on. I can't implore you guys more to get home and get serious about content creation. If you are fortunate enough to be extroverted or lack insecurity in front of a camera, you should be filming yesterday. But I also have empathy that it's not for everybody. And if it's not, and you love writing, I am thrilled that you'll be writing. And let me tell you something about writing. One of the things that I see so many of you, and I've been watching people mention this and looking at their Twitters and looking at their Instagrams and DMing some of you, so many of you are relying too heavily on just the pictures on Instagram and not adding context and copy. I believe copy, the written word, is the great underdog right now in content creation. We've become so visual with pictures and video, we've punted written word. I can't write for shit and I'm doing it. I really implore most of you to do the following. Take a step back and figure out how you communicate to the world. How do you communicate to the world? Are you best at audio? Are you good at video? Do you write? If you're lucky enough that you can do video, that is where you go, because what video does is allows you to then edit it underneath it into audio and written word. If you don't, that's fine too. Forcing it will never work. We've seen a lot of people try to do video online, and it's been scary and ugly and a train wreck. It's just not for them, and that's fine. So what I'm thinking a lot about is how to put you in a position to succeed in content creation and then figure out how to be great at distributing it. When you get to the distributing part, my friends, you have to respect the context of the platform. I'm watching so many people that are in B2B try to win on Instagram, but they're acting like Instagram's LinkedIn. Doesn't matter if you're a lawyer or a financial advisor or you sell concrete. If you treat Instagram like LinkedIn, even though your business is more LinkedIn, you will lose. If you do not respect the context of the room, you will lose. These platforms are rooms. They are rooms. Fuck. It's just so intense. Like, you know, like the reason I just went there, I'm just like thinking, I'm like, how the hell do I get them to understand? Like, how do I get people to understand how big of a deal this is? Like, nothing is more valuable than attention. It's the only, I literally value attention equal to oxygen. Like, it just, I couldn't get you to understand it more if you got inside my head. And I can't figure out how to break people through, which is how, ironically, I think you'll find this interesting. I think the reason that I was willing to go back to mindset and motivation over the last year and a half, where after 4 years, I was basically quiet about that because I didn't want to be a motivational speaker, was because I'm so desperate for you to communicate more to the world. As I met more and more people, I was like, oh, fuck. They're not doing it because they don't know how to make a picture or video written. It's because this is broken. They're insecure here. That's why they're not making, and that's the problem. I mean, there are people here that literally post on Instagram, and if they don't get enough likes, they delete it. They delete it because they think it's a scarlet letter that shows their audience doesn't give a fuck. They're playing the wrong game. It's short. Like, do you know how many people email me every day saying, Gary, how do I get to 10,000 followers? I'm at 4,000. Like, that means something. We just have to change the paradigm of this conversation. We have to. When you start thinking of yourself, as I do, as a publisher, as a media entity, I think of myself not as a Tim Ferriss or a Tony Robbins or a shark on Shark Tank. I think of myself as Wall Street Journal and Business Insider and Fast Company. I think about the world as a publisher, not as a human. Why this is important is for all the same reasons I said about advertising. If you are capable of putting out content as a media company, which means you're trying to bring value to the audience in entertainment or utility, not selling them something, when you switch from being a commercial on TV to being a TV show, you start selling a lot more. When you switch your mind from being an ad in the Wall Street Journal to being the Wall Street Journal in the videos, podcasts, emails, and LinkedIn posts that you put out to the world, everything changes. My friends, this is undeniably the biggest shift of attention that the human being has had. This internet thing, it's big. And it's just starting. My great concern, how many people here are retiring in the next 10 years? And I don't mean you're gonna fucking kill it and go fucking buy an island. I mean, you're fucking old and you're finished. Raise your hands. That old dude, 2, 3. No way, you're way too young. Cool. So for 6 people in here, I have a little more empathy. But for the rest of you, if you do not start becoming perfect at Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, podcasts, you're in deep shit. Because what's coming behind this is like a marathon versus the treadmill that I'm trying to get you on. And what will happen is, and this is why, actually, another show of hands real quick. How many people here are having their best business year ever? Raise your hand. First of all, let's clap it up for everybody. That's awesome. One more time, hi. You'll find this interesting. So that's fucking awesome, and that makes me super happy. It also makes me worried. The people that I am most worried about in this room are the ones that are having a great year. Because if they're not doing what I'm talking about and they're having a great year, they can only take it with a grain of salt. That becomes their vulnerability. There are so many people that make ridiculous statements in their own head, like Gary's awesome and super motivational, but this shit doesn't work in my industry. You're a fucking idiot. Communication works in every industry. Customers' attention works in every industry. And the reason humongous companies go out of business all the time in the world is they become audacious. that the new technologies don't affect their business. There is nobody in here that is as big as the billion-dollar companies that are going out of business every fucking year because of the technology shift. So please, on your 20% growth this year, or on your cute double-digit massive explosion, please do not become audacious and think that everything that's being talked about here doesn't count for the real estate industry in the west side of blah, blah, blah. The level of disruption that is coming is substantial. The opportunity right now is substantial. And I highly and desperately, desperately am passionate about this audience who decided to allocate me with the thing that I value the most, attention, goes and takes theirs. Every single time I do this, a month or two later, I get one or two of people that do. It is fundamentally foolproof if you're willing to make 100% of an effort. And when I say foolproof, nothing is foolproof. If you're willing to unbelievably work and understand how the ads work, and unbelievably work and understand how the pictures, videos, and written words work, you will hit pay dirt, mainly on the back of what I did earlier when said, hey, for everybody that's got it, wasn't it so weirdly easy? The answer is yes. The attention is just so grossly underpriced, and it won't be. And so I'm passionate, as you can tell, and I'll tell you something. How many people here actually have been, 2014, how many people here have been following me for more than 7 years? It shouldn't be a lot, but I want to see it. Raise your hands. So for the 20 or 30 of you, you know I got quiet in 12, 13, 14, 15. Like I was quiet, there wasn't content. Wine was done, I wasn't making business videos. Like once or twice a year, a keynote from a talk because I was doing a little talking. I got quiet because there was nothing to yell about. Facebook and Twitter were organic. The ads weren't working this way. People were spending time still on television and TV and print and other things and other websites. Remember other websites? Remember other websites? Remember we used to go to other websites?